Hello and welcome to 70 Years, 70 Muppets, a Muppet fan podcast presented by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we celebrate the Muppets' 70th anniversary with 70 straight weeks of spotlights on our favorite Muppet characters, from the most popular to the most obscure. I am this week's host, Joe Hennes, and the Muppet of the Week is Bean Bunny, performed by Steve Whitmire, designed by Diane Dawson-Hearn, and built by Raleigh Cruson, making his world debut in 1986. We've got an extra special guest joining me for this adorable episode. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. This is Dani Iglesias, producer from the Muppet Studio and self-proclaimed #1 Bean Bunny fan.
When we saw that we were going to be doing a Bean Bunny episode, I'm pretty sure you came one step away from skywriting in front of my apartment. Please let me be on this podcast episode.
Correct. Yeah, I'm so glad that the gift baskets were received well and that the constant email spams. I think the entire Muppet 70th campaign was just so that I could do a Bean Bunny podcast with Tough Pigs.
Good, great. And here we are. We're doing it.
We're doing it. It worked.
We have so much to talk about with Bean and so little time to do it. But before we get into it, I have to ask you about the Muppets 70th anniversary campaign, as a whole, because this is your brainchild, right?
It is. It is. It's a great testament to the faith that our leaders have placed in me over at Disney. But we knew we had this big milestone year coming up, and Disney treats anniversaries in all sorts of different ways. But the thing that was important to me is that we remember that the Muppets are a group. They're a troupe of performers, and they represent all these different personalities. So while it is, we're rallying around Kermit and his Sam and Friends appearance for the actual 70th, it seemed like a great opportunity to just open up the whole campaign and find ways to celebrate even the more obscure Muppets. So that was kind of the springboard. And then I put together a pie in the sky idea of what if we did a 70-week campaign with one character each week. And I pitched it to my leaders, and they said, absolutely, that does it does seem like that's a fair amount of work. We're going to need artwork for it, and we're going to need descriptions, and we're going to need some sort of a strategy. And so I did all those things. Good news, we made it here. I survived the 70th strategy planning, and now we're here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, thank you so much for doing this, because it's been, for as long as Tough Pigs has been around, all we really do is go back and be like, I really like that thing. Let me just talk about that thing for a while, this old thing from the Muppets. And you're giving us a reason to go back and do it. And not just for us, but everyone on the internet. And to either, proclaim their love for characters like Bean Bunny, or to even learn about who Bean Bunny is.
Exactly. Yeah, I think one of the reasons that I love Bean is because he's an enthusiast. And I think a lot of Muppet fans are enthusiasts. So whoever your character is, whether it is a Kermit or a Miss Piggy or a Fozzie or the really popular core characters, or it's, your Link Hogthrob or your Uncle Deadly, whoever your Muppet is, I want you to have a week to celebrate them. And it's a cool thing to be able to do it. I love that all of these characters are getting a little spotlight.
And so you've been creating the artwork that we've been seeing on social media every week, and which has also been fun, just seeing the variety. I know, it's not the variety of style of the character, but the different colors and the different the phone backgrounds people can download. And I feel like once we see all 70 of them together, it's going to make this beautiful mosaic. Or maybe it's going to be a secret code,
if you will. Oh gosh, I wish there was a secret code. That would be a great thing to drop in this podcast. If you put them all together and flip them upside down, play a record backwards.
A flip book, that would have been fun. Missed opportunities. Yeah. Why are we thinking of this halfway through the campaign?
That's okay. We still have so many weeks left. We can start now. Some of the characters, we're doing these print on demand magnets at Disney parks, so that every character will get merchandise out of this. And for many characters, it is the first instance of a character having merchandise, which is wild to me.
It's wild, but then when you've got characters like Mo Frackle, it's yeah, of course there's no Mo Frackle merchandise, but
I don't
Now
know
there
what you're
is.
talking about. We're righting these wrongs. We're righting these wrongs.
It's true. And I was actually down at Disney World a few weeks ago, and I was so excited to like. I remember thinking like, oh, which of the magnets am I gonna get? I didn't realize that that's only like the last 4 weeks that are prints on demand. So yes, it's exciting that they're all gonna get these like pieces of merchandise, but like you're still keeping that bar of making sure that they're exclusive, like really
Oh
high.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the kids call it FOMO. The FOMO purchase. You don't want to miss out. The fear of missing out on your Muppets magnet.
That's true. Yeah. But no, they're great. I mean, look, I talk about the Muppet merch all the time. You and I have talked about like, let's just get more Muppet merch on the shelves. And like,
More Muppet merch, please, and good Muppet merch, pretty Muppet merch, and
yeah,
silly
yeah.
Muppet merch.
And look, you did it. You're creating at least 70 new pieces of Muppet
I've
merchandise.
got, if you thought, man, the Muppet tomato is underrepresented in the merch space, I'm here for you.
Have we got news
We
for you?
If we you got the magnet, you're welcome. My mom's
Speak
calling. I gotta go by.
Speaking of Muppet merchandise, so you work a lot on the merchandise lines with Disney. Do you can you tease anything about any merch that might be coming that's related to the 70th anniversary?
Absolutely, yeah. I describe my job as somebody that wears many hats at Disney. So some days I'm writing franchise guardrails, some days I'm planning 70th anniversary campaigns, some days I'm picking out, just kidding, assisting Miss Piggy in picking out what she may be wearing in an appearance. But one of my favorite things is merchandise because as a Muppet fan, I know how much pride you take in being able to carry around a thing that represents your fandom. So merch is something that we've really focused on since I've been with the Muppet Studio for the past 5 years. So we do have some really cool licensing integrations. Loungefly is coming out with some really lovely new bags and designs and things. We had Muppet Clue last year, which is so rad. And then Kermit's autobiography is getting re-released. Before You Leap is coming out with a 70th anniversary spin. But we do have, and excited to tease it here on this podcast, some very cool capsules forthcoming. And all I'll say is capsules are coming that everybody will be able to get their hands on in the later area of the campaign. So like the back end of the campaign, we've got some really fun, really ridiculous things planned. So stay tuned and definitely keep your eyes on social media because that's where everything's going to drop. But some fun Muppets 70th surprises coming.
Can you explain what a capsule is for people who may not know?
Yes. I don't even know what a capsule is. It just sounds fancy.
It did sound fancy.
A capsule is a collection of products that all sort of share the same theme. So our thinking is we do already have these spotlight characters existing. So maybe some weeks you're going to get a capsule of merchandise inspired by that character.
Hmm. That's a really good tease. That's a
Wow.
really
Wow.
exciting
Tell me
tease.
more about I think capsule just makes things sound fancy. We should find other instances to use the word capsule.
I don't know. I think it makes it
Have
sound
you had
medicinal.
McDonald's new capsule meal? Oh no, you're right. Never mind. I take it back. It's sort of scientific.
All right, let's get further away from medicine and more into things that are cute, because we got to talk about Bean Bunny. That's why we're here.
Cuteness is the best medicine.
That's exactly it.
Yes,
So
Bean, Norman, Bunny.
Norman,
We are gathered to speak about our boy Bean.
I'm so glad that you immediately you dropped the trivia bomb of what Bean's middle name
No,
is.
did I?
Well, no,
We're gonna do trivia at the end.
no, it's okay. No, this is good. This is good stuff. That's his middle name. It's Norman.
Yeah.
But
Of course it is.
tell me, besides his middle name, what is it that you love about Bean?
I love that Bean is obnoxious and never lets that get in the way of his spirit of trying to be helpful. And that is something that resonates deeply with me as someone that's probably a little bit like well-intentioned but annoying. And that is he's very cute, but he's never just cute for the sake of being cute. He's always trying to do something or be creative or help out or approach things in a different way. And I think that's such a great personality quirk for a Muppet.
Yeah, I appreciate what you said about like he's not just cute for the sake of being cute, like because he could show up, dressed as a baby and people would be like, oh, like
Yeah.
whatever it is. But I watched a bunch of Bean clips before coming on this podcast, and there's things where just like he's just playing with a balloon, and it's like, yeah, it
Bean loves a
happens to be
balloon.
cute. He does love a balloon. It's like
He
he's
also
not
like
trying to be
occasionally
cute.
has existential crises where like I think it was the Jim Henson Hour where he's talking to Link and Link is sure that his doom is forthcoming and Bean's just like, well, that's how death works. Da, 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 da. Like he's got a darkness and a sassiness to him too that just makes him this like really wonderfully weird character.
Yes. And something that's really missing from the Muppets cast as a whole, they happen to be cute because, they're piggies and froggies and they're these fun puppets and whatever, but they're not trying to be cute. Even the characters that should be cute, like Bobby Benson's baby band,
No,
they're
no, no.
like they're not cute. Like they're quite disturbing looking actually.
I
But Bean
remember
is
one of
cute.
the first conversations that I had with the legendary Jane Gutnick was on set for a photo shoot that we were doing. And I kept saying, "Oh, cute. Oh, that's really cute." Because it's a word that I use a lot. I'm from the 90s. Anything that was visually attractive was cute, millennial speak. And Jane stopped me and she said, "Hey, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but the Muppets aren't cute. The Muppets are they're a serious thing. They're not for kids. They're not for babies. So they're not cute." And I had to say, heard Jane. I'm so sorry if you're misunderstanding. I just use the word cute as a catch-all phrase for everything. And I think that's very in the spirit of Bean Buddy as well, who's just, yeah, everything's everything's cute.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Everything's optimistic and positive and bubbly. And so the Muppets are not cute all the time, but Bean Bunny does get to be cute all the
That
time.
was such a cute thing for Jane Gutnick to say.
It was.
It's true.
Love Jane.
So Bean's first appearance was in the special The Tale of the Bunny Picnic, which I also rewatched in preparation for this podcast. I don't know, how long has it been since you've watched it?
Oh gosh, I think I do like a springtime annual watch. So I
Oh,
think I'm
good.
coming up on my watch, but probably last year.
Great, great. So it's weird now looking back at it because Bean is just cute. Like there's no um uh, like self-referentialness to the whole thing. It's not like he's cute in comparison to, Kermit and Fozzie and etc. Like it's just a very cute story about bunnies. And
Yep, he's
it feels
surrounded by
it's weird.
cuteness.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
still has that determination, like he still is trying to do a thing, which is very Bean. But yeah, I think even in the little featurette when Jim kicks it off, he says, this was just a cute little story that Cheryl and I thought about staring at a group of bunnies. And it's exactly that. It is a cute little story. It's the ASMR of its time.
Yes.
Of just like it's kind of a comfort watch. It's kind of silly, kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to go very deep to pull off what its goal was.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, when you're doing a special called Tale of the Bunny Picnic, like it tells you everything you need to know right there in the name.
Correct. We are
Yeah.
not going into the meaning of life in this one.
Correct. Yes. And I was fascinated to learn that I mentioned at the top of this podcast that Bean was designed by Diane Dawson Hearn, which was a name I hadn't heard of. And she was the illustrator of the Tale of Bunny Picnic book that was, I guess, used to like they made the book like at the same time as the special. So technically she drew the first Bean Bunny for the book that they used in the special. I'm not really sure how the timeline works there, but like that's kind of
That's
fascinating,
very cool.
right?
Yeah. Could you imagine being the person that drew the first dot 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 anything?
No,
That's
I
pretty special.
I can't imagine drawing. Not my forte.
So you pick up a pencil,
Yes.
you put it to paper, and that is the concept of drawing.
See, this is why Disney pays you the big bucks.
That's what it does. Wait, they're supposed to pay? People get paid?
No, they just
Wait a
invite you
minute.
onto fan podcasts to
Wait a
talk about
minute.
stuff. That's it. This is your payment.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
So Bean's next like really big role after Bunny Picnic, it seems to be the Jim Henson Hour,
Think
which
so,
it,
yeah.
I'd have to say, you don't have to respond to this, but to the powers that be, it's a shame that like the Jim Henson Hour is so hard to watch because there's so much good stuff in there, and there's so much good Muppet stuff specifically,
I
and
mean, you mean difficult to access, not entertaining to
correct.
view.
Yes, yes. Thank you for clarifying my words.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Muppet fan.
No,
Jim
no, no.
Henson Hour is great. Not
It
hard to watch at all. A
it is great.
pleasure.
And look, if you need to find it, you can go out there and you can find it. But for one of Bean's biggest spotlights, it's kind of important for his history. Um, and this
Absolutely.
is where he was really solidified as, well, we hired Bean to be cute, so the rest of us don't have to.
Exactly. For the ratings.
For the ratings. And did it work? Did the ratings go up with Bean Bunny?
I sure hope so. I mean, they had data on those screens, which by the way, rewatching, anytime I rewatch Jim Henson now, I'm reaffirmed that there's some low-key ADHD because all I can focus on is the screens in the background. So when they're like, all right, the data looks good, I'm like, wait, is that just Jerry Nelson sitting in a chair? That's
Yeah.
the only thing happening on that back. Wait a minute, that's just a fountain. Where did they get that footage of a fountain? And now I've total not paying attention anymore, distracted by the screens.
I am exactly the same way when I rewatch the Jim Henson Hour, and I remember distinctly as a kid watching Jim Henson Hour live and looking at those screens in the background, and some of them are like episodes of the Muppet Show, and me going like,
Yes,
I want to watch the Muppet Show. Like you couldn't watch it in 1989; it was nowhere.
correct. All I get is this Marvin Suggs playing the
Yeah,
Muppaphones in the back corner of a screen on the Jim Henson Hour. It's a real tease.
oh, exactly. God, what a tease. Well, in any case, it was a delight to see Bean Bunny on the Jim Henson Hour and doing what he does best, which is just be cute. Um,
Perfect. Just perfection.
it's also, I'm realizing as I'm saying this, it's such an interesting throwback to this idea of creating Muppet characters based on one thing. Like
Yes.
the Swedish Chef is just a bad chef, or New Zealand just throws boomerang fish, or whatever it is. And they don't have to be three-dimensional. They don't have to have wants and needs, and we don't have to see where they live. And Bean is just like, no, I just show up and I be cute, and that's enough.
Show up, be cute. That's it. And that's, yeah, to your point, maybe why we love the Muppets so much is because they get to be the distillation of just one concept visually and from a personality standpoint. And it's really fun to just see what happens when someone whose identity is I throw boomerang fish, that's really all they want to do. So it immediately provides that comedic conflict because you put these characters in situations where they have different passions and different viewpoints. And of course, chaos is going to ensue, and it's really fun chaos for us to watch.
It's true. It's true. I want to jump ahead to one of his later appearances. But we're talking about chaos and Bean Bunny. And I think one thing that a lot of people think about with Bean Bunny, and only happens a few times, but it's this idea that Bean gets kicked around. And specifically, we think about like Muppet Christmas Carol. He gets the
Mm-hmm.
door slammed in his face, and then Scrooge throws the wreath at him, and he almost freezes to death, and all this other stuff. And like it feels like a pretty quick turnaround from like he's cute and we love him because he's cute, and now he's too cute, we gotta kick this guy to the curb.
Exactly. I think part of what makes Bean work so well in those roles is his design. So he's got this incredible eye mech that can let him give expressions of super cuteness, but also disappointment, which is equally cute. So he can sort of be this well-intentioned punching bag when he gets to be too cute and is not actually being helpful. He's just in the way. And he can give audiences this little moment of, oh, wait, and then he's back. He's fine. He's got like a really quick turnaround. And this, he's right back at it. He's undeterred.
He's kind of invincible in that way. Like
I
you
mean,
can't, you can beat him down, but
yeah.
he won't stay down,
He can spend the night on a frozen London street and still wake up the next morning and carry your giant turkey.
That's right.
And that's skill.
It's
That's what
all,
we should all aspire to be.
it's true. um let's talk about Muppet Vision 3D, because this might be Bean's like biggest like true spotlight, because it's actually about Bean in a lot of ways.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I fully attest that Bean is the star of Muppet Vision 3D. I think Muppet Vision 3D is easily why Bean is my favorite Muppet character because it's just such a cool spotlight for this character that I had only ever seen before in Muppet Christmas Carol, and suddenly he's got a third of the show is really his his arc. Where is he? Is he okay? And I think it's also a lovely testament. Spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen Muppet Vision 3D, because Joe and I are about to talk about the plot, so you should probably see that. Uh, I love that while he is this punching bag sometimes, and they go, oh, Bean, get out of here. It does show what makes the Muppets so great, and it's this spirit of togetherness where they know when they cross a line and they care very much about how their friends are doing. So there is that punching bag, Bean, you really screwed up that stunt with Miss Piggy, get out of here. But the second they realize that he took that personally or that he's leaving forever, suddenly that's the pivot. The show stops. We've got to go take care of our friend. And I think that's what makes the Muppets so fantastic, is they do have that stop what we're doing. This is more important than the show.
Right. Yeah, completely agree. And it helps that Bean is real. Like, he's not just on the screen. You look up and he's there. And like, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. And he's tiny, and you get to look up in that little balcony and see him with a little fireworks plunger. So the physical space is part of the magic of Muppet Vision 3D and bringing these effects in as many ways as possible. I have discovered, not that I've ever done this, but I saw a child do it in front of me the last time that I was at Muppet Vision. If you stick your tongue out and taste the bubbles, technically it's another dimension of experience. Don't do it. It's going to taste like soap.
Oh,
But have you ever stopped to think? You're getting sound, you're getting visuals, you're getting multiple dimensions, and if you play your cards right and stick your tongue out, you can taste Muppet Vision 3D.
all right. So everyone, you heard
Don't
it here
do it.
first. Taste soap.
There you go. There it is. There's your
That's
headline.
what we're learning today. That is, I really
Don't
thought you were
do
going to
it.
say like, oh, it's strawberry flavored, and no one ever talks about
Oh
that. I was
gosh,
so
wouldn't that be a
excited.
great Easter egg? Of like,
Yeah,
yeah, they
all these
actually
years.
the bubbles taste like honey from the Flight of the
Wow.
Bumblebee. A lot of
Can,
people don't realize.
can
No,
you
please don't
imagine
eat soap.
35 years later? It's like not one person stuck their tongue out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did no one try to lick the seats at Soarin' when the orange smell comes out? You can taste the orange. It's delicious. Everyone's gonna be
Don't lick your
wondering
seats.
Disney
Don't.
parks.
That one I don't even
Don't
joke about. That
don't
sounds
lick any
awful.
surface in a theme park, period.
Ice
Thank
cream.
you so
Have
much.
I get buy ice
End
cream?
of
You can lick that.
PSA.
Yeah,
Exactly. Only things that are intended for food and beverage, please.
exactly. Yes, no, I'm so glad that Bean gets that spotlight in Muppet Vision, and and for Bean to truly live on, for all these years, because I looked up to see what Bean's last appearance was because I was curious. We haven't seen him in a long time, and he made an appearance in an online video for Disney Extreme Digital. It was celebrating Groundhog's Day, and this was back
Wow.
in 2011. And doing this podcast, it's been interesting to me for some of these forgotten characters of like, when did they stop, or when did they last speak. I did the Mildred episode a few weeks ago, and just like fascinated to see like Mildred said, like, had a line in a Muppet Show episode in like 1980 and then never spoke again. And like, whoa, like we've seen her, but
But
like,
it's
God,
still this
just
big character in our minds that you just go
yeah.
like, oh, wait a minute.
Right. And for now, like, that's the last we've seen of Bean. And so what I'm curious about is you know, if we get the opportunity where the Muppets are doing another big project, like another TV show or another movie, and I feel like in the world of the Muppet Show, everyone kind of needs to have a job, a purpose of being there. What do you see Bean's purpose being in a future Muppet project?
Oh, and like in like a mod, what is Bean doing these days?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Gosh, I do like that everybody does have a role in a show. So I think it does depend on what production are they working on, what story are they bringing to life. But in just I like to believe that the Muppet Show is happening every day in a Muppet theater, and we don't get to see it because we're not the special guest and we're not a Muppet that gets to go to the show. So
Ugh,
in
why
my
aren't
heart,
we?
it's
Why
just
can't we be?
there's just a show happening right now. Like Tom Hanks is probably there, but like he's got to keep it on the DL because it's just for the Muppet audience. So there's just constant slew of celebrities appearing in the Muppet theater that we're not able to access. But what's Bean doing in that theater? Gosh, I want to believe. Oh, okay, I figured it out. I want to believe that he has like a little coffee cart like he's crafty, and it's like beans. He does like he's really into different coffee beans and roasts, and nobody wants his coffee, but he's gonna try really hard to convince them. They're like, oh, I've got a
Oh, yeah.
beanacino for you.
I love
Yeah.
this. And you know that cart has all the flavors, like all the syrups, because Bean
Yes.
likes candy, but he
Yes. No,
wants
it's
something
sugar.
sweet in
It's straight
there.
up sugar. Maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't actually like coffee. So it's more of like a steamed milk and flavor with a whisper of coffee. So
Yes.
no one wants it because they're like, I just wanted just a regular cup of coffee,
This is
not a
just
unicorn
like
whip.
an this is like an entire cup just full of vanilla extract. Like this is not what I ordered, Bean.
Exactly. This is a puppuccino. This is just a cup of whipped cream. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's better that way. Yeah, with
Oh, I'm
rainbow
so
sprinkles
sorry. I
and
forgot the sprinkles. Fixed it.
someone get Jim
So
Lewis on the phone. Let's get this thing written.
that's my fantasy. What is every character doing right now in the theater? I think that Bean maybe helps with crafty sometimes with Ed Bean's
You
bean cart.
you came up with beans so quickly. That's got to be it. It's done.
That's
It's canon
this is
now.
how my brain works. There you go. Speaking of canon, one fun thing that I'm excited to share. And speaking of Jim Lewis, I'm circling it all together. Our friend Jim Lewis was helps Kermit write Before You Leap, the audiobook that's getting re-released. And so as part of the re-release, we got a chance to take a pass at the book and figure out what needed to be updated and how to, bridge passages since the last update had been some time ago, and we wanted to make sure we filled in what Kermit's been up to. But as part of it, we just needed to incorporate more Muppet characters and give it a little bit more flavor. So in the section when Kermit starts talking about people's hobbies, I may have canonized that Bean Bunny makes miniature dioramas in his spare time. And no one stopped me, and they have published it. So that's a fact now. Somebody
Wow.
update Muppet Wiki.
Is that like does that feel like a lot of pressure that you could like say something and now suddenly you have affected the entire Muppet universe?
The canon of the Muppets, it's also the maintaining it and remembering it is the other piece, because we know our Muppet fans, y'all are so very smart. And if we skip a step or miss something that's already been canonized, no one will be shy in letting us know that that was perhaps an oversight. So the creation of canon is really fun and exciting, and like what a mantle to carry. But also the retaining of that to make sure we don't contradict ourselves later and say that Bean hates miniatures it's the other side of the coin.
I actually, when we're done with this podcast, I have a whole list of discrepancies that I need to cover with you. Some
Please,
inaccuracies.
yes.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got to get what do they call it at Star Wars? The Keeper of the Holocron, I think, is the title at Lucasfilm. If you get to keep track of all the stories,
Oh
we
my
need
gosh.
that.
I want that job with Muppets. Can we do that?
Yeah. I think it's Leland Chi has that job. Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
dang. Wait, so if he's making miniatures, what are they
Hmm.
miniatures of?
That's a great question. I think I'm gonna spitball here and say that there may be like recreations of historic moments, but entirely with rabbits.
Great. I love it.
Like,
Very,
oh,
very
this is
Watership
signing
Down.
signing of the Declaration of Independence exclusively with rabbits.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. Because
crossing the
that's
Delaware,
how it
just
happened
rabbits.
to Bean. Like, it's like, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Do you have any other favorite Bean moments that we didn't cover?
Gosh, I regularly forget and then get to re-remember that he is at the very start of Muppet Treasure Island. So that's just a quiet moment for me as a kid. I felt really cool going, oh, it's Bean Bunny. I wonder if he'll be in this. No,
You
but
were
he is the start of it.
you were doing that the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen, like there he is.
Yes.
Yep.
There he and he's not coming. It was just that. Just that. He's just
Yeah.
the tavern.
We
Tavern
talked about
Bean.
this in the Moving Right Along podcast because it's like Bean and Robin at the
Yes.
bar, and they're like, aren't you guys like supposed to be like 6? Like, who let you
That
in?
was just-
Where are your parents?
They're serving potatoes. It's potato night.
It's true. It's potato night.
I do love, and I don't think we've really seen. I think you get a brief moment of them kind of side by side in maybe one of the Christmas specials. But I love thinking about Bean and Robin as friends because they are both, Bean, we don't know how old Bean is, but he does play it fairly younger. Robin's, perpetual kiddo. Are they just best friends running around the theater trying to sell their coffee? I don't know.
I mean, they see each other eye to eye because, they're about the same
Yes,
height. That sounds about right.
exactly. Little teeny guys. So yeah, I love them at a pirate tavern. Yeah, here
Yeah.
we go.
I never thought about how old Bean is because, like, what if it turned out he was 35?
He could be.
He could be.
He very well could be. There's nothing to say that you have to be a kid just to be childlike, right? So maybe
That's
he is
true.
35 and just has not lost that sense of cute and wonder.
Well, there's one thing that could confirm it, and that's you. You could just say it, and then now it's canon, and now we're adding it to the Muppet Wiki.
God, there we exactly. Muppet Ages is such a weird topic because you don't ever want to think about, was a character born? How long will they live? Will we see them aging? So I
Ugh.
kind of love not knowing how
Yes.
old Muppet characters are. And then if they need to play a ghost of Marley later and you go, wait a minute, do they die? Do they ever die? I don't want to know that.
The scene in Muppet Christmas Carol where we see old Fozzie and old Sam, I hate it. I don't
Yes.
like looking at the screen because Muppets can't age. Don't do that to me. Because if they
So
age,
you know
that
what
means
I
they
like to
die.
think about? The the cosmetologist coming in and like, all right, Fozzie, we got to apply your old age makeup for today. And he's like, this is such a fun opportunity. It's
It
definitely them applying old age makeup to Fozzie and not any other way.
Whatever gets us through the night. Well, Dani, thank you so much for being here and for talking about Bean with me. What a joy this was.
Thank you for having me on to talk about Bean. I can't wait to come back next week and invade that character's podcast to talk about Bean more. And then the week after that, I'll just show up to share some Bean anecdotes, maybe give an update on his business plan for his coffee cart. Week after that, I will return. So this is just for the rest of the 70th.
Okay.
Bean
Well,
interruptions.
then in that case, I won't say goodbye. I'll just see you next week.
No, yeah, I'll see you next week.
Yeah,
It's going to be
great.
great. This is what everyone wants. No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for so much. You and the whole Tough Pick team do. I think that it's such a cool Muppets fan community out there. And so thank you for bringing them a little dose of weirdness and whimsy and nostalgia and keep doing what you're doing.
No, thank you. And thank you so much for allowing us to play along with the 70th anniversary thing because it's been a blast for us. And this podcast has been so much fun to do. And again, like just to have a reason to celebrate all these guys. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
70 weeks of fun. And we've got, this campaign's going to wind down if you do the math in December. We've got some really exciting stuff on the horizon for 2026 and new campaigns and new things to celebrate. So
Whoa.
stay tuned.
Ooh, good tease. Good tease. Wow.
I mean, everybody can do math on anniversary years. It's not a surprise, but we've got some great anniversary years in 2026. So
Amazing. Great.
we'll be back for more fun.
Well, one last thing. Not many people know this, but we have actually been monitoring this podcast ratings across all demographics, men, women, youths, retirees, college graduates, blue collar workers, and a Mr. Harry Stapleton. And this episode has given us the best ratings we've ever had. All thanks to Bean Bunny.
Wow!
Can you
The
believe it?
power of Bean Bunny. He hits all demographics.
He did it again.
Cuteness
Thank you, Bean.
ratings. He did it again. Thanks, Bean.
70 Years, 70 Muppets is a Muppet fan podcast presented by ToughPigs.com, hosted by a whole myriad of people and edited by them as well. Produced by Jared Fairclough. The Muppet 70 logo used with permission by the Muppet Studio with thanks to Dani Iglesias, Frank Reich-Snyder and Lee Slaughter. Don't forget to follow ToughPigs.com on all social media platforms. You can support us by heading to patreon.com/toughpigs or buying a t-shirt at tpublic.com/toughpigs.